So how did you feel after our last session?
Mm, um, trying to remember. I don't know. I guess I'm always reflecting on real estate. The thing is when I was so busy, I just hated the feeling of feeling just so out of control and like running around with a chicken with my head, like a chicken with my head cut off. I just didn't like that feeling. So that's why I'm so hesitant to, I want to be busy and I want to, of course, sell real estate, but at the same time, um, you know, sometimes it just gets out of control, I guess is the best way to say it.
Okay. So what would you like to drop my pen? Okay. So what would you what would you like to be coached on today?
I don't know, since it has been a bit slower here. It's funny. It's like, I don't think a day goes by where I'm not thinking about, what should my next move be? What should my plan be? And part of it, I think, is I just don't have a plan. So that's the
Okay.
problem. I feel
Okay.
like kind of like I just need to start over, because I was not happy the way things were running, with what I was doing in real estate.
Okay. Okay. So how would you like them to run?
Um, Smoother and more, I guess if I say systematic, I don't know if that's the right word, but
You're like, Lisa's gonna yell at me if I say I need systems.
it's just that, I feel like I had a really rough start getting started with real estate. And so once it started, I was like so excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I'm doing it. And then I just did it. I mean, there was not a plan. There was not anything, where you do this, then you need to do this. It was just like, an adventure every day. It was nothing. It was never anything nothing was the same. It was always just go, by the seat of my pants. I never had a plan.
Okay, but that is the thing that stressed you out
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. Because I don't feel like I could sell more or grow because I really didn't have a plan in place for that.
Okay, so why don't we start with what are the things that work?
Mhm.
Because you started, you
Mhm.
just jumped all in, you just did the
Yeah.
work, but then it got out of control, is what I'm hearing you say. Like you don't
Right.
like where it went to.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, so what are the things that you do like about it? Not about the job, but of
Mhm.
what did work?
What did work? Um, hmm. Well, I enjoyed meeting the people. I was mainly a buyer's agent,
Okay.
but I do feel like after time, I just got a little burned out on that because it was just, never ending. And again, I should have more, I didn't set really any expectations for my clients. Like, I'm
Okay.
off on Sundays or I do this on this day or, don't expect me to answer the phone at 10 p.m. So those kinds of things. So it was just kind of like a free for all. Like just whenever they thought they should pick up the phone and call me, that's when they called me.
Okay. So did you work on boundaries at all? We talked last time you're going to kind of set some boundaries. Did you work on that at all?
Yeah, actually, I didn't do like on Sundays, I've been trying not to do a whole lot with real estate. I'm not super busy now. I just got a referral yesterday. But so I think I told you I work with a lot of retirees.
Yep.
Most of them do not live here.
Right.
So they're not here. So that's when they start planning to come and and so I've had a few people want to come just to look, we'll be ready in 2 years. We'll be ready. Somebody wanted to come in April. They'd be ready in October. I've already met with her before. Then I had another couple that actually is going to be here at the end of September, but I am going to be out of town, taking my mom to the doctor. So I let them know I'm out of town, but I can meet with you another day. So yeah, so I think, I've done that a little bit.
Okay. So have you created what your new, like your new business, you're going to start your new business, right?
Mm-hmm.
What those boundaries are going to look like?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to at least take one day off.
Okay.
And
What day do you want off?
Sunday, because that's when most people are like, oh, I understand. You're not working on Sunday.
Okay. What's going to happen on Sunday when you're off? Does that mean, what does off mean?
Well,
Turning
that
your
I'm not,
phone off?
No.
Okay, not turn your phone
No.
off. Okay, so what are your boundaries around Sunday being off?
Just not sitting in my home office for 8 hours on the phone, or, actually, doing things with my family, or, doing things that I want to do.
Okay, so it's family time.
Hmm.
You said not sitting in your office for 8 hours, but if you're off, are you going to be in your office at all?
That's what I'm going to try not to do, is come into my office. I will try to get other things, done that I want to get done on Sundays rather than real estate.
Okay, so you're not going to be in your office.
Mhm.
If we
Right.
try, that gives us a gray line to go in our office.
Right.
So if we shut the doors, nobody's going to have an emergency until Monday morning.
Right. That's
Real,
right.
I call them real estate emergencies.
I've not seen a true one yet, but
I know, but man, they all think they exist.
they do.
They think they exist. Okay. All right. So let me pull this. Ooh, I don't trip myself. Okay. Okay. So off family time, no office.
Mhm.
What else does that mean? What about your phone?
To me, it's more stressful to turn it off than to have it on, but
Okay.
I
So
guess
what are
if I
your,
do,
what's your parameters around your phone?
as far as like any other day besides this day, or just this day?
Just this day.
Um, yeah, the thing is, the thing I want to try to do, and I really want to do, is not be on my phone on Sunday.
Okay. So can you have your phone on, but not be on it?
No,
No?
probably not.
Okay.
Just because for me, when I see things happening, I just want to get them done immediately. I don't want to wait.
Okay. So you may have to baby step yourself into that, because if you
Yeah,
can't, if you have to keep it off,
right,
you have to decide
right.
where you feel comfortable. As an agent, I hear you on that, where you worry, right?
Mhm.
But that's a choice. You could also try it.
Right,
You could keep it off,
right.
or even if you put it on, just put it on silent,
Yeah.
right? Just put on, maybe try that.
Mhm.
What if you put it on silent mode and you gave yourself 2 times during the day to check it?
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay.
That would be less stressful.
Then if there's an absolute emergency, you can deal
Mhm.
with it, right?
Mhm.
Absolute emergency, but then it's not impeding on your family time. You're going to have to pick those times. So what times would be a good time to check your phone on Sunday?
Mm, Hmm. I would probably want to check it by lunchtime.
Okay, so 12 o'clock.
Hmm.
Okay, and then what other time?
I would say again by 6 o'clock.
Okay. So 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Does that run into dinner at all?
No, everybody's in and out of this house constantly, so
Okay.
not really.
Okay, so 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock.
Mhm.
Those would be the times that you just check your phone on Sunday.
Right. Yeah.
How does that feel to you?
Good.
That feels good?
Yeah, I think I
Okay.
can do that.
So no office, this is family time. What about showings?
So going back to most of these people, 99% of these people do not live here. So if they're here, sometimes they'll be here. I have to adapt to their schedule because they don't live here. So, but I would try not to do. I have somebody coming into town this weekend, but I'm not going to show them anything over the weekend.
Okay.
So I would say no showings. So
no showings. Yeah. You know what I like to tell people? I work 6 days a week.
mhm.
I have to have one day off.
Yeah,
This is my family day.
right.
And I feel good about that.
Mhm.
Right. And then if they aren't happy with that, they can find a different realtor.
Yeah,
But
most people get 2 days off.
most people get 2 days off and we get one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just have to be okay with that. If you put your foot down and this is what you
Yes.
need, but remember, what's the result that we're getting right now in burnout?
Oh gosh, I don't want to do anything anymore because I'm
Yeah.
burned out.
Yeah.
Right.
So you don't have the clients because you don't
Mm-mm.
want to work the clients because you're completely burned out. So if
Right.
you break these rules that you just made, these boundaries,
Right.
right, you're back to not having clients. But you
Right.
think you have to break the rules because you'll lose a client.
Right. But I'm getting better at this because in the beginning, you were just so happy to get anybody that you could show a
Right.
house to. And then as time goes on, you learn how to adjust your life to
Yeah.
the showings and
Yeah,
Mhm.
you're in demand now instead of you having to like just take
Right.
anybody that's breathing that wants to look at a house. Sure,
That's
I'll show
right.
you a house, right? Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so that feels good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Definitely. I could do that.
okay. This is something that you'll probably have to write. I don't know if you use a planner. You'll have to write in your planner.
Right.
I would
Yes.
encourage you to write it so you don't
I will.
forget.
Yeah.
And you're
I'll
gonna
look
have
at
to
it on
remind
Sunday.
yourself, yeah, maybe Saturday night even, take a
Yeah.
peruse through it Saturday night
Right.
and see like, okay, prepare yourself mentally. This is what my day will look like.
Mm-hmm.
These are my,
Yes.
and then you have to stick to it.
Right.
Otherwise you won't be getting the results that you want.
Exactly. Yes. I think I can definitely do that.
Okay, awesome. Okay, what's the next thing that you'd like to work on?
I don't know. I feel like I should just start over from the beginning, I have all my eggs in one basket as far as lead generation goes and lead sources go. And for years I've known this and I said, I've got to do something about it. But things were always so busy. So it's just, the leads were so good. Now they're not. I mean, I know people say the leads aren't good, but even the company that is sending them to me has said it. So, I mean, it used to be 60 leads a month and now it's maybe 5.
Okay, so you just need some different sources now.
Yeah, I think to have different places that your leads are coming from is always good.
Okay, so we need different, okay, all right. So we need new, so it's not, when you say starting over, what does that mean to you?
Well, I haven't been in a position that I've done a lot of listings. So I really want to start, they feel more uncomfortable to me than being a buyer's agent because I've done that so much. Being a buyer's agent feels comfortable because that's what I've done for so long. But to kind of see if I can get more listings than buyers, more sellers than buyers.
Okay. So I just point out one thing before we start brainstorming ideas is that the uncomfortable feeling that you're getting, right? This is your feeling right here.
Right.
Okay. This is the thought that you're having about listings. So for those that are on podcast and can't watch this, but so your circumstances is listings, right? You're going to find more listings, really, or just find listings. Your thought about that is that you're starting over. I did hear you say it more than once. I think you said it last call too. It was very hard, honestly. You're probably like number one hardest because you had so many competing thoughts about, I want to increase my business, but I'm burnt out, but I need systems, but I'm starting over. And I'm like, wait a minute, but you've been doing this for 8 years. How are you starting over? Right?
Yeah.
So when you tell yourself that you're starting over, it's making you feel uncomfortable. So we kind of have to start with this a little bit. Like, what could you think about listings that feels better than uncomfortable? Or how would you like to feel about listings?
Oh, I like to feel excited and, like I would like to, it almost feels like just a new business to me. Just excited and the new adventure. I feel like I haven't tackled this one yet.
Okay. So good challenge. Okay. So you want to feel excited.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said before too, like you like the challenge. That's why you're like, oh, now I want to sell triple what I sold before because you love to like the adrenaline rush of the accomplishing.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. So you want to feel excited about listings. What would you kind of have to think about listings to feel excited? What do you think about listings that makes you excited?
Well, just because I feel like it's an opportunity I haven't really gone down that road yet. I've dabbled in it a little bit, but I'd like to get better at it. And I would feel more comfortable if I had more of a plan in place as far as, when I go to a listing, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to say. I've always just gone to them, just kind of like, having a conversation with them
Okay.
rather than showing how I'm different than the other agents that they're going to interview or have interviewed.
Okay. So we'll get to the how part.
Mhm.
What do you think about listings that makes you excited? What part of
Excited?
listings is exciting?
Because I feel like there's just a lot of opportunity with the listings. You not only are going to get, the listing, but also from the listing comes, and I just said I don't want buyers, but that's not, it's not, I mean, I would take a buyer, but it's just, I feel like you get kind of like double the,
Yeah.
you're
You
getting
multiply
that.
your business.
Yeah, exactly. More efficient, and you can grow more with not putting somebody in your car driving around for 4 days.
Okay. So is the growth making you feel excited about the listings, or is there something else
Yeah.
about the listings? So remember, what were you thinking? You were thinking uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Listings were making you feel
Mhm.
uncomfortable.
Mhm.
So we need to find something that kind of almost overrides that,
Mhm.
that makes that uncomfortable not in the forefront. Does that make sense? Like we need to
Yeah, and
replace
for
that.
me, it would be having a plan in place. Like I know what I'm going to do when I go, what I'm going to say, what I'm going to.
Okay. So if you tell me you need to find listings, or I want to find listings,
Mhm.
and you think I have a plan in place,
Mhm.
does I have a plan in place make you feel excited?
Yes, it makes me feel less uncomfortable because I know what I'm going to do and say.
Okay, but does it make you feel excited? Do you like run out and be
Yeah.
like, I have a plan in place? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I'm ready to go.
okay, so I have a plan in place is what you're gonna think. Okay. So when you think I have a plan in place and you're excited, then will that lead to taking action? When you're excited about the listing,
Right.
now what do you do?
Yeah, I don't know. I know what I can do. I can get on the phone and call expireds, and that's what makes me not feel really excited.
Okay, okay.
I've done cold calling before. Yeah.
Okay.
No,
That
but
part doesn't make you
loves
feel
it.
excited. The work part of it, the what makes you not excited about making the phone call?
Well, I know, because they hear it from a lot of us that call, when they're being, they're
Yes and
that's why
no.
I think that's why if you can be different, then maybe
Mhm,
people would take notice more and, really listen.
mhm.
Besides,
Okay, so let's,
they're thinking, oh gosh, another realtor's calling me again. They don't even want to hear what you have to say.
yeah, I had a for sale by owner call me,
Mhm.
and I ended up listing their property. Excuse me. And I asked her, they'd been on the market for over 30 days. This was when things were selling still within
Oh.
a week or two. And they've been on the market for 30 days. And I said, how many agents called you? I was very curious because it was in a hot area. It was a $650,000 house.
Oh, wow.
And they said three called them.
Wow. Wow.
So we like to create stories in our heads that, oh, everybody's called this expired. Everybody's provided information to them, right?
Right.
Those are just stories that we're creating.
Mm-hmm.
So what would make us excited to call the for sale by owner? Because we want more listings.
For listings, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I guess the more prepared I am, the less uncomfortable I feel, and the more I want to do it.
Okay, so what do we do to prepare so that we?
Right. Yeah. Well, I think just knowing what I'm going to say, for one, the beginning. That's
Okay,
the
how do
very,
we
very first
prepare
step. If
that?
you're calling somebody, what are you going to say?
Yeah.
But then again, I always want to be different than anybody else that has called them.
Okay, so what does that look like? What does preparing look like?
it looks like I know, I know after I do it over and over, it gets more comfortable and I don't feel like, I feel like I can just kind of, like, same with buyers, like I can just, I know in the beginning when I first had buyers, I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to say? But then it became easy after you do it over and over again. So I guess just the initial part of it would be getting like a kind of a system in place, knowing this is what you're going to say when the expireds answer the phone. And then this, then when you get to their house for the listing presentation, this is what you're going to do. And this is how you're going to follow up. So to me, it's just like 3 steps.
Okay, so let's create that right now. Let's create your system.
Yeah. And also too, I know that, you can send some things over before you go to the appointment.
Okay.
A lot of people don't do that. A lot of agents don't do that.
Okay, so send things. What is things? What are you sending over?
Kind of like I want to say, I don't know, some kind of like pre-listing presentation.
Okay.
I would want to send it over video.
You
Even though I
would
don't
want
like
to do
doing
video?
What's that?
You want to do a video?
No, but I know that's what I should do.
Well, that should subjective. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah,
I
feel
don't
like
send
though,
videos.
if you do video, I feel like people think they know you.
Yeah, but that's the positive thing about video is it gets to break the ice a little bit.
Right.
Okay, so you want to send maybe a pre-listing presentation video.
Yeah, and before, these people are just opening the door, letting strangers into their house. So it would be nice to kind of have an idea of who's coming. And
is this expired or for sale by owners?
I guess you could do it for both.
Yeah, I would say, okay, so yeah, so let's kind of create a plan here. So you're going to send a pre-listing presentation video. What's going to be and what kind of information are you providing?
I don't know yet. I've got to look into that.
Okay, so you want me to teach you a little bit about that?
Sure.
Okay. So with any expired or for sale by owner, what you're going to be looking for is you want to be that judgmental 16-year-old. That's kind of the goggles that I put on when I look at any of these, is I want to be the judgmental 16-year-old. And what that means is I want to look at what does their presentation look like. I want to see what's gone wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you want to look for what's gone wrong. So it's in the presentation, it's in the photos, it's in the price, it's in what the market's doing. Those are your main pieces that you've got to prepare. So this is why when you say everybody calls an expired and you don't want to call them, the reason why we don't want to call them is because it's the cold call. Right? Because we're calling to say the same thing everybody else is saying. Hi, this is so-and-so, this is Lisa from Hunter of Homes. I saw that your home's expired. Are you still interested in selling? That's the general phone call that gets made when agents just grab this list of cold calls and they're calling all these expireds. Okay. So when you go about it, you want it to be different, which is awesome. Go about it a different way. Then it shows up like this. We're going to prepare. First, we're going to look at what their listing was before. If it's expired, we'll look at their listing that canceled or expired. And then we're going to also, if it's a for sale by owner, we're going to look at their current listing that they have. And I want to know these things. Why isn't it selling? Like, why did it not sell here? And why are they not having luck here? Okay, that's what I want to know. Because once I know that, that helps me be more excited to call them and say, hey, I've got some information about your property. Would you like some information to see maybe why you haven't sold or why you didn't sell? At that point, you're providing value to them, which sounds a whole lot different than making a phone call that's a cold call just to ask somebody if they want to relist their house.
Exactly.
The purpose behind it is different. For me, that's what gets me excited. Is so if I flip really quick to here, maybe not so much that I have a plan in place, but maybe like I have awesome value.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I can't spell the word awesome. But I have awesome. I can't talk and write and spell the same thing. But like I have awesome value to share. Right? I have awesome value to share with this person, like that could bless their life, that could help them to sell their house. Which is even different than just that I have a plan.
Yeah, and to me, that is a plan. You're first of all, you're different. You're not just calling saying, hi, I see your home didn't list. When can I come by and show you what I can do to sell it? Rather than you're just offering them value and educating them too.
Right. Yeah. And when you have that plan in place and you have all that value information,
Right.
then you're excited. When I'm excited, I make the phone call.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't feel like I'm intruding on them. Like, by the time you're the fourth one that calls, they're like, oh my gosh, you're the fourth realtor who called me today. What do you want? You feel like, they are valuing what you're saying and they want to be, they want to talk to you.
Yeah. Well, and when they say like, why are you calling me? Well, because I've got some great information to share with you about why your house hasn't sold. Like, would you like the market information? Would you like to know what's going on? Would you like, right? I can provide an assessment for you. Are you interested in assessment? Won't cost you anything. But you sure could use some help. I probably wouldn't say that, but that's what we're thinking. You sure could use some help, right? So these are the main items though that we're looking at, because sometimes you can have a presentation problem, not a price problem.
Right.
It's not always price. And a lot of people will think it's price, or that's the easy like scapegoat to go to. But I've taken houses that have been on the market for 260 days, never changed the price, legit, did not change the price, put it up for sale with a better presentation with photos and a description. When I say presentation, that has to do with the description too.
Okay.
And the order of the photos.
Yes.
And the quality. Those things all kind of go into the full like presentation. That's what encompasses that. So I've taken homes that weren't even not an exciting home, right? Put it back up for sale within, oh gosh, it took me 24 hours after they had canceled with their previous realtor, and legit had 4 showings on it the next day and an offer, and we were under contract.
Wow.
They were 266 days on the market.
Wow.
It was insane. Enough that agent got so pissed off that they canceled with, turned me into the real estate commission because they thought I did something wrong. He thought I poached his client and had a buyer for it. It wasn't even my buyer. It was a completely different agent, but he didn't know that he sucked at his job.
So it was the presentation then on that one.
It was total presentation of photos. I didn't change the price. I've taken a house, same thing, that had a presentation issue. The price was low. And I actually talked the client into letting me raise the price when I relisted it. And they were like, no way, there's no, it hasn't sold. And I think they were 4 or 5 months on the market. And they're like, it hasn't sold so far. So why, if you raise the price, is it going to sell? So because this is not a price problem. So I can make you more money. This is a presentation problem. Let me provide the presentation I can for you because I do a kick butt job at it, right? I'm good at what I do. That's the exciting thing. You've been doing this for 8 years. So if you're going to go land a listing, you can say with confidence, I'm really good at what I do, right? I understand the market. I know what's going on. So yeah, I legit put that one back on the market at a higher price with the presentation that I provide, and sold it and made him an extra like $17,000.
Wow, that's great.
And they were like, whoa. And now I've sold them multiple houses and their friends, right? Wow. So this is all the preparation that you need. The suggestion that I give when it comes to process is when you're going to sit down with your schedule, schedule time to do this. Maybe block out, I usually would block out like an hour to conquer 4 of these, hour and a half to conquer 4. And this right here, this assessment that you're going to make, or the judgmental comment, it's the judging is what I really call it. But when I'm judging to find out what's wrong with the previous presentation and price and everything, I will do that, take about 10 to 15 minutes. You want to pull up the comps, of course, but you also want to know what's active in the market right now.
Right. Okay.
So I always say that your comps, your sold comps, and even your pending comps are just as important as your active comps. And because when we're looking at actives, we're comparing, okay, if I'm going to go shopping, how am I going to fit into this pool of properties? What am I going to look like? Which can look different than what just sold the last 30 to 60 days, especially in the market right now.
Yeah.
So that's something to look at as well. So I will prepare this take
Mhm.
10, 15 minutes, do my assessment or however long that takes you. You get pretty fast at it. And then I will make the phone call right then. What we
Right.
don't want to do is gather our list. I had an agent that told me I had 6 for sale by owners. I went and did all the research. Never made a phone call.
Mm.
Okay, so part of the excitement that we gather, back over here, but if we replace this with just that we need to find listings, but we're going to like call,
Mhm.
right, the for sale by owner, like that's what we're doing. When we're going to do that and we prepare, we have our
Mhm.
plan in place right that moment, then we're excited, then we make the call.
Right.
That gets us to take the action
Mhm.
because of what we're thinking at the time. If we prepare 6 and then we wait, then starts to creep in the I'm overwhelmed, this is going to be awkward, I don't want to call. Like that allows us to let all those other things come into us.
Mhm. True.
Make sense?
That is true. Yes.
Okay, what do you think about that?
No, I like that. Yeah. I had a listing like that. Actually, they had 2 other realtors before me. And I went over and looked at their house. I was like, oh my gosh, could we have a stager come in here? And they're like, no, we don't want to pay one to come in here. They had sold most of their furniture. So it's just pieces, not furniture sets anymore. It's like a recliner here and a chair there. And I was like, oh my gosh, we've got to make this all come together. And so we went through everything and we just worked with what they had. I helped them with that. And actually it got sold.
Nice. See,
Yeah.
that's awesome. And that's great. That's great. Like stories that you can tell them too, or like new potential clients. So
Mhm.
that's awesome. Okay. So there's a process and a system for you
Mhm.
and a way to get listings.
Right.
What else do we want to work on?
Yeah, I like that actually. Because you feel like you're not, just the salesperson, you're actually bringing value and helping them because they don't know. I mean, we think we see it every day, so it's a lot easier for us. We think everybody else knows too. But,
So I
that's
know
something-
I told you I'd teach you a little bit about time. Did you want to talk about schedule?
Sure.
Were you on the call this morning?
No, I'm going to listen to it though, because it will be recorded, right?
It is recorded.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast though you had going on that you sent over today. It was interesting. I forgot something about the ledge.
Oh, getting off the ledge. Yeah.
Yes, I feel like I was like, that sounds like me.
Did you? Okay, good. That was an awesome call. That was the first coaching call I just put out, actually.
Oh, I didn't get to finish listening to it, but I definitely want to listen to
Awesome.
it.
Awesome. Well, you are going to help other people too, because
Mm.
you'll be out there on the podcast here pretty quick as well. So that'll be good.
That was a good one.
So one thing that I noticed when we talked last time
Mhm.
is the kind of the construct around like time, right? The overwhelm, the burnout, the time, and those like those feelings that you have, those seem like really deep feelings about the burnout
Yes,
and not getting back to that place.
right.
And one thing, and I don't know about you, that I don't know what you recognized about that. Was there anything that you, like when we got done with our call, that you recognized about what your burnout was now creating? Or your feelings of
Well,
burnout?
what it's creating is me not wanting to do anything.
Right, which we could just kind of talked about again, right? Yeah, it's the inaction.
Yeah.
But you love working. So that was a
Yes.
very like contradictory thing, is that you
Yeah.
love working. You're like, but I love accomplishing.
Yes.
But how do I accomplish and not be burned out at the same time?
Right. I remember every vacation we went on, I was on the phone.
Yeah.
While everybody's in the pool.
Yeah. Yeah. And so again, like kind of almost going back to that Sunday, if you use that as a model,
Right.
and you prepare ahead of time, it's like, okay, we're going to go on vacation. What are the parameters that I want around vacation so I can enjoy it?
Yes.
So it's going to be a little bit more of like a step-by-step process where you're going to need to sit down and plan what you want it to look like ahead of time. That's how we can avoid burnout.
Right. Yes.
So we can actually, if we go to, let's go here. One thing that we did talk about today is time. It says right there, like time doesn't need to be managed. Time just exists.
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Time is like, there's no such thing as managing time because it's an external like condition that we can't do anything about. The sun's going to come up, the sun's going to go down. Like we can't control that, but we can manage ourselves and the thoughts that we have about how we spend our time and how we want to spend our time. And that's what I would encourage you to start with. Is that. So you kind of know, you've told me like what you didn't like about your time before. You know, where you were on vacation and you were on the phone while everybody else was, you know, in the line at Disneyland or whatever it might be. Yeah, been there, done that. So you know a little bit more about how you've spent your time. I would almost encourage you to look at how you want to spend your time and to spend some time with your future, like your future self. Okay, my goal is to triple the amount of work that I was doing, right? Triple the units. I can do that. What would that look like to me in terms of time? Now, time, I'm not saying like, I don't want you to get overwhelmed. Does that create any feelings of overwhelm when I say that? About tripling your business and taking time? No. Okay.
No. To me, for doing that, I just want to become, I guess, more efficient. I don't feel like I know people love working from home. It's good and it's also bad because I have a lot of distractions. Okay. And if I went to like an office where nobody could come to, you know, like my family couldn't come there, then I'd get a whole lot more time.
Oh yeah, but even at an office, we'd still have like Facebook and Netflix and people walking in and somebody, I mean, there's things.
No, if I just a room, like I'm the only one there. Yes, the office, I know the office can be very like home, a lot of distractions.
Okay, so I would encourage you to first write down a list of what you want to spend your time doing. Okay, I know what you don't want to spend your time doing because we went through a lot of those things last call, and I'm going to call it part one, because I'm still going to put that up on the podcast because I think that it's very, if you're okay with that. Yeah. Like we got done with that call and I'm like, oh my gosh, did I even help her at all? I felt like we went in circles a little bit. Because you had so many competing thoughts. I know, it's true. I mean, I want to feel how I did in the beginning, you know, where like, it was almost like, I don't know, I was so almost addicted to it. Like, oh, let me try to do something else. I'm gonna get another sale. And, you know, for me, it was fun. I liked it. Yeah. But then it got to the point where it was just, you know, intruding on everything on my life. And that's all I did. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it can be addicting. It can be rewarding and addicting in other ways, though, too. Right. Yeah. So making a list of your, like where you want to spend your time. That's where I would start. What's important to you? Where, you know, this can be family time. This can be, I want to spend my time finding listings, right? So that your focus can go there so that when you create your schedule, you can put those things in your focus areas. Right. Okay. Yeah, I feel like if I can during the day, because everybody's gone at work or school, like if I have that time during the day to work really hard, then by the evening I can actually relax. Okay, so what's stopping you from doing that right now? Now, oh gosh, because I'm really not sure what I should be doing, to tell you the truth. Okay, so we just don't have clarity around your goals. Right. Okay. So how do we find clarity around your goals? I mean, I guess you can start with, if I want to have more listings, I've got to, you know, do lead generation. I've got to get a way to get those listings. So that's probably what I should be spending the majority of my time doing. Okay. So if we're going to do lead generation, what does that look like? Hold on, let me get to a non-messy paper here. What does lead generation entail? Well, for the listings, it would be something that, like we just discussed, calling expireds. Okay. Cold calling. I'd probably rename it because that's not cold. You got information for those people. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So you're going to call and help It really does matter what words that we choose to use because it creates different feelings in us.
Sure. Yeah.
So if we say things like cold calling or outside my comfort zone or things like that, then that creates a feeling. So in order to have a different feeling, we're calling to help the for sale by owners.
Right.
How many are we going to call this month?
For me, I'd have to break it down probably 2 days.
Okay. So how many do you want to call in a week? It might take you, say it's 30 minutes per for sale by owner if you're going to do the research and have a phone call.
I would per day.
How many hours in the week would you like to spend doing that?
I'm going 15, I would say 15 hours.
Okay. So you want to spend 15 hours a week calling your for sale by owners. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And expired, do you want to lump that in?
Actually, I'm more excited about the expireds because they want to sell.
Yeah.
and they've used a realtor.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, and you can hit on those first. I mean, honestly, for sale by owners right now too, like poor people, they don't know what to do with themselves because the market's starting to go wacky. Yeah. And so we can really help them right now. And the expireds. I always feel bad for the expireds when they had a really crappy agent.
Yeah.
It's like, you poor person.
Yeah, that's the thing about people. They think everybody's the same.
Right.
Everybody's the same.
Yeah, but they're not. They don't know different until they've had different.
Exactly.
So you get to show them different.
Right? Yeah, I would say, gosh, if I did that, see, that's 3 hours. I would say the same 15 hours a week.
Okay, so you want to spend 30 hours a week calling for sale by owners and expireds?
Yes.
It's a lot of hours.
Yeah, that's a lot. Well, I'm thinking that 6 hours a day, right? 6 times 5 is 30 hours.
And that won't burn you out.
Yeah. I really probably should do 2 hours a day.
Yeah, that sounds a whole lot better. Okay.
I was thinking the 15 hours would include both, but so yeah.
Let's call it, what if you just started with, because remember, we're avoiding burnout.
Yeah.
And there's going to be other activities that you can do to lead generate, right? I mean, if you want to hit it hard and that's the only thing you want to do and it's your favorite thing, that's okay too.
Yeah. That's not my favorite thing.
Okay. So, and it can become your favorite thing. It can become your gem.
You're right.
Okay. So about 10 hours a week, 2 hours a day. Say you spend an hour on for sale by owners, hour on expires a day.
Perfect.
That's pretty good, right? Okay. 2 hours a week, 1 hour each type, we'll call it. Okay. Okay. So we've now broken that down. Okay.
Right.
We take that and we can come up with some more ideas if you'd like, but we take this and now we're going to go, okay, in this 2 hours a day, what's my most, like, for me, I'd like to think, like, when am I most excited in my day? Like, when do I have the most, right? Is it morning? Okay. So when would be a good time to schedule that?
I'm thinking 9:30 to 11:30.
Okay. So what time? So what does your schedule look like right now? Is that when you start work is 9:30?
No. You don't want to know when I start work. They wouldn't be up.
I wouldn't be up. I don't start work till 10.
Really? Oh, wow.
That's my boundary. I
Yeah,
burned
that's
out
good.
as well. And
See, I was up. I went to bed at 11 and got up at 1 and I haven't been back to sleep since.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So that's when I like to come in here, my computer, and get things done while everybody's sleeping. But yeah, what were you asking me? I'm sorry.
More sleep.
Okay.
Sleep, yes. What time in a balanced way? Remember, we're creating what you want. We're creating the life that you want. We're not creating what you've been doing.
Right.
We're creating what you want so that you can be happy. Spend more time on the beach, like you said.
Sure.
So 9:30 to 11:30. This is going to be our for sale by owners. And we should be able to call at least probably about 4 and prepare and call, I'd say 4 in an hour.
Okay.
To be
Yeah.
3 to 4, depends on if they answer the phone, if they're old and how long they like to talk.
Yeah, that's true.
If they tell
That
you
can make a
about all
difference.
their knee replacements, then you might be there for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then expired, same thing, right? The next
Mhm.
hour, you could spend about an hour calling for expired, preparing and calling for expired.
Mhm. Right.
Doable, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. You have a result, like when you're done with this, you
Mhm.
have a tangible result. Is the result always going to be that you landed a listing?
No.
No. But did you accomplish?
Yes.
Yeah. And we like to feel accomplished,
Right.
right? Isn't that what we said? We feel
Yeah.
accomplished.
And if
Yeah.
you don't try, then you definitely won't have any.
No, we
So
can't
try.
get the extra result. So it's almost like a bonus result.
Mhm.
That our first result is we accomplished, we stuck to our
Right.
schedule, we accomplished this. Our bonus result is somebody actually said yes,
Yeah.
right? We
Uh-huh.
were able to help somebody.
Right.
And then you can, of course, schedule another appointment. Okay. So that's what it looks like for a couple hours. How many hours do you really want to work in a day?
Um, hmm. Well, the more I can get done in the least amount of time is always good for me.
Yeah. So what do you really want? Like, I don't start work till 10. I don't get up that early. And
Yeah.
I work out in the morning. So
Yeah.
what does that look like for you?
I- I'm 6 would be good for me. 6 hours.
Okay, so you start at 9:30. Is this the first thing you're gonna do, or are you gonna do something to prepare before then?
Oh yeah, I'll do something before then.
Okay,
Mhm.
so what time do you want to start your day?
8:30.
Okay. So 8:30 start. So what do we do for that first hour in our day?
I guess for me, it would be looking over everything to see what I'm going to be doing at 9:30.
Okay, so
Preparing for the call,
well, remember your focus time for your for sale by owners, you don't need to prep anything before here. You're
Mhm.
prepping and then calling all at the same time.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so we don't need to add more to the list. That
Right.
will all be done right in here.
Right. Well, I know what I'll do no matter what. I'll be looking at, look at everything for the day, like what emails did I get?
Okay.
What.
So kind of assessment of the day, go through emails,
Mhm.
maybe email inbox.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So just kind of the general sit down, prepare. Do you have a battle board?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. Battle boards are always fun. If you're a visual person,
Uh-huh.
I have my battle board on the wall that has all my listings and things that are pending. And it's kind of a quick scan to see like,
Yeah.
is there anything I need to do or touch base with for the day?
I have the board right here. It's just nothing on it yet.
Okay, well, you'll be ready to put stuff on it. If you don't have listings to put up yet, it can be buyers or potentials. You
Yeah.
can actually make a battle board of your for sale by owners that you're going to start. Like
Right.
as soon as you
Right.
find one, you can get it put up there
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
make a battle board of those too.
I like having that because you can just glance at it quickly and see
Yeah.
where the progress is.
Yeah, I think it's kind of helpful. Okay, so then 11:30, what are you going to do after that? You eat anytime?
Yeah. I was just thinking that would be like 11:30 to 12:30.
Okay. So we got lunch.
Mm-hmm.
So we got 2 hours left after
Yeah.
lunch. What do you want to do?
Mhm. I mean, for me, again, we're just on one way to lead generate. I'm
Mhm.
thinking, maybe something else after lunch.
Remember, this is only Monday. I mean, if we want to spend 2 hours every day, you could do this,
Right. I see
right?
what
But
you're saying.
you can swap this out. If this is your focus time where you're really
Mhm.
good at the harder things,
Mhm.
just swap it out for whatever lead gen system you
You're
want to
doing.
try during the week. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So if you don't want to
Yeah.
spend 10 hours a week only doing for sale by owners and expireds, you can plug in this would just be a good lead gen, but you have to have a plan specifically of what you're going to be doing for your lead gen
Right.
and
Right.
what those steps entail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what do we do 12:30 to 2:30?
Sorry, somebody's walking the door. Yeah, that's what, I mean, I guess if I know I've listened to a realtor, which I like how she did it. She only made 2 appointments a day. She would make them 2 times that she would go out and meet with clients, I think
Okay.
it was 9 a.m., which is good, and 1 p.m. So,
Okay,
so that's, so in the afternoon, I'm maybe, I don't know, if I don't have any listing appointments, I need to be doing something else.
okay. So we could leave this open for listing appointments because you're gonna be getting them,
Right.
because you're doing all the work here,
That's right.
right? So your afternoon can be listing appointments,
Right.
okay? If you don't have any listing appointments, so this is nice, because then you can control when you're going to be working, right? Because you want to
Right.
quit about 2:30 is quitting time.
Right.
If it bleeds over a little bit, that's up to you. If you have like massive amount of listing appointments and you went for an extra hour or two and you're okay with that,
Yeah.
that you have a buffer.
Right.
So it's not rolling into dinner,
Right. Yeah.
right? Because then it starts to affect the family and, you know, the health.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, so this would be your listing appointments. That's a great goal just there. Honestly, if you use this schedule even for 2 weeks in a row, like you would start filling your listing appointment timeframes.
Right.
If you kept doing this.
Right.
And then it's going to change, right? Because then eventually you're not going to be calling so many, because you're going to get so many listings, and those people that have to sell have to buy.
Right. Right.
Well, then when they have to buy, why don't we go start showing them houses in the morning instead of making phone calls to more for sale by owners?
Right. Yeah.
Or 3 days a week, you can go out and show houses, right, for buyers.
Right.
And the other 2 days, you keep calling so you can keep filling that listing pipeline.
Right. Yeah. That's a good plan, because a lot of times I would get so busy with buyers, I wouldn't have time to do anything else. I wouldn't, so you can see the roller coaster effect of, a lot of sales, all of a sudden, where's everybody? It wasn't staying consistent.
Right. And buyers do take, they take more time, I would say more time away from home.
Yeah.
I would say they take more time away from home than sellers do. So it is nice to compound your business, because when you have a buyer and a seller, if you're able, and for anyone who's listening, right, if you can have sorry, if you can be a listing and a buyer agent, because some brokerages don't allow people to do both. But if you can be a listing and that listing's buying agent, then you have one person to talk to instead of two.
Right.
Because if you're only representing a listing and a whole separate buyer, now you have two contacts you have to worry about. So that's how we start to multiply our business without losing our minds.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
2 sales from one client.
2 sales from one client. You have one contact's feelings that you have to help be responsible for. Right? One contact's feelings we have to manage throughout the process.
Right. Yes.
Right? Put both the buy and the sell at the same title company. Now you have one title company to manage. If you use a lender that you really like, I like to put my clients with the same lender.
I do.
To the point where if somebody gives me a different title company or a different lender, I have no idea how to contact them. I have to go look up the information.
Exactly. I have a lender. We give each other a lot of great referrals. Every referral I get from him is already pre-qualified and ready to go.
Yeah. When they know how to do their job, it is phenomenal. That's part of having your dream team put together of your a good lender, a good title company, a good home inspector, and a good photographer. If you have those 4 things in place, that helps with your system.
And I do.
Yeah. So so you have a lot more systems in place than you think you do. I think the structure, I think you were almost wanting systems, but structure is what we're really looking for. Listing structure, if you're not familiar with listings, there's definitely classes, like you can get into Kickstart. Do I have you in Kickstart? Okay, no. I don't have you in Kickstart. So if you go into the Kickstart business course, I will give you exactly what I do for listings. Like I walk you through a 4-step process of that, like this is the next appointment I do. This is exactly what I say. This is what I prepare. This is what I take in, but I do it like this. Like I do not do fluffy. I don't have time for fluffy. And I hate wasting time.
Right.
Like I hate taking more time than necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And so I will do it in the most efficient way possible to where I'm taking really great care of my client, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not stringing it out. So it's going to take me a week or two to put a listing on the market.
Right. Right.
Right. You
Yeah.
call me, we can get this
And
sucker done in 2 appointments.
And I have another question for you. So you know how door knocking is like one door at a time, which I haven't done door knocking, but
Me neither.
and same with cold calling, you know, you're calling one person at a time. But do you do anything with Facebook and putting like custom audiences in Facebook and sending ads?
So I did that once.
Um,
And I know people do have, oh, okay. I'll tell you, this is gospel according to Lisa. So
Uh-huh.
I know people have success at it. It's a different game.
Mhm.
So the Facebook ads game is a very wide funnel.
Mhm.
Okay. And like I told you, I don't have a lot of patience. So I like things now, right? I like that like
Yeah.
fast hit, right? The fast
Right.
dopamine hit every time. So what happens with Facebook ads is it's a very wide funnel, and you may like what you get is not people that aren't ready to do something now. So you get a lot of like it's a long game.
Yes.
It is a way to gather contact information. It's a way to get their email addresses, maybe their home addresses. That is a form of like a good form of lead generation, but it is a long game.
But what about if you put your database in there? So they're your custom audience. So these are all people who want or have contacted you interested in buying or selling a home.
In Facebook ads,
Yeah, I know you can create a custom audience and put your database in there. So you know these are people who want to see homes.
I don't know. Can you really do that? I've never seen
I
where
think
you can
so.
upload. You can create a custom audience, but the custom audience is based off of, and somebody can send me a really mean email if I'm wrong. But the custom audiences are based off of your age groups, areas, that sort of thing. We have a lot more. We can't target market as easily with homes because it becomes a special category, and then Facebook
Right.
kicks your ads out, and there's this whole thing. So if you're going to market to people whose information you already have,
Right.
that's different. Are these people who are homeowners?
Yes.
Okay. If they're homeowners, they just need to go on HomeBot. That's it.
Okay.
HomeBot.ai.
Yeah.
That is it.
I was just thinking the more people see you everywhere, you know, the more you will keep, you know, in their thoughts, you know, so when they need somebody.
So your past clientele, though, you're going to be a lot more personal with them than Facebook ads. They don't need to really see you on a Facebook ad. What we really need to see on Facebook, like to go to the basics of Facebook, honestly, and like the purpose of it. And somebody may totally argue with me about this, but it's the presence.
Mhm.
If you link, now I can't even think of it. It's on mine. You can link both your Instagram and your Facebook to rate my agent. Have you done that?
No, I know what
Okay.
you're talking about though. Yeah.
Okay, so if you link your Facebook and your Instagram to rate my agent, it will automatically post your listings. It will automatically post your reviews. So you don't have to keep posting those things yourself all the time.
Mhm.
So it has to run through your business account. You have to have a business Facebook in order for that to do that. So you have to have an actual business realtor Facebook. And then you can share from there onto your personal page.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So this takes away, again, like we're trying to be efficient with our time, right?
Yes.
And if we spend too much time on social media, we get a lot of times too stuck in scrolling. But we're just trying to create a presence. We want people to know, what do I do for a job?
Yes.
That's all we want them to know. So here's a little bit about my life, and this is what I do for a job. In so much that when someone then has an issue or comes up with it, oh, I might need some help with real estate, then you're top of mind because they know what you do for a job.
Yes.
Okay. But it's kind of like sitting down to coffee with a friend. I don't drink coffee, but sitting down for my delicious hot chocolate, that's my favorite thing ever. If I sit down and I'm talking to a friend, and if all I do is say, look at the house I sold, look at the house I sold, look at this review, look at this
Yeah.
review. If that's all we give them, then they tune out pretty quick. And so really like the if you call it an algorithm, I guess that we need is we just need personal intermixed with business so they know what we do for a job.
Yeah.
That's really it. Now,
Yeah.
when it comes to running, so that's how you'll stay in front of them that way. Honestly, you've got HomeBot, that if you have past clients, they need HomeBot and they need a 3 times a year touch. That's it.
Okay.
And if you, again, I'm in the Kickstart class in module 10, I go through exactly what to do.
Okay.
So when you talk about systems, I can sell you that, which is all of my systems and processes that I've done since I created them when I started my job, but I still do them and I teach all my agents to do them too.
Right.
It's a simple way, but HomeBot goes out once a month. That was a newer edition a couple years ago when they came out. That has value, right? HomeBot will give them the value of their home, what the current interest rates are, what they could Airbnb their house for, what they could refinance for, what the rates are, what their current mortgage balance is. It shows them all that, which that part's kind of creepy that they can show the mortgage balance, but yeah, so that goes to them once a month. It's not junk email. There's like a 77 to 87% open rate on those emails.
Well, that's good.
Right? Which is a whole lot different than sending a CRM that says, don't forget to clean your gutters out. Thanks, Allstate. I knew that your robot sending me that. This is value.
Right.
Then they stay tuned into you because you're writing value. It's the same thing like when you're going to approach your expired and you're for sale by owners, you're providing value. It's a completely different place that you're coming from.
Right. Yeah.
Then I'm just making this call to see if this person wants me to list their house.
Yeah.
Right. The 3 times a year, I stay in touch with my client. 2 times is with an advertisement, but it's always a gift. So some sort of gift that the card has my contact info, my logo, it's an advertisement. So that's one of those, or 2 of those, sorry. The third one is Christmas. There is 0 advertising in Christmas.
Yeah.
Right. I just want to wish them like a happy year and send them something nice, usually chocolates or something like that. Right.
Yeah.
But I'll send them something. Every client I've ever had. That's how you continue to build a business, so that honestly, all this time that you spend right here calling these people turns into people calling you, and you filling this up with showing houses, and you filling this up with listing appointments. And that's what you spend your day doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's it.
I saw a lot of that in the buyer side too. I get a lot of referrals from my past clients, and so that's always nice because it just does come so much easier than the ones you're calling. Or
they trust you already.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So that's the piece. It's like 34% repeat business and referral rate in the general like real estate population.
Yes.
And I think the repeat business was 17 or 19% of that. And I keep thinking, what happened to the other 81% of your clients?
Yeah.
Like, where did they go?
Right. Yeah.
Because at some point in time, they're going to sell and buy. I've had clients, I've had my license almost 8 years now. I've sold 5 houses. I think my one client's 5 times. Moved 5 times. I'm like, are you done moving? I love making money off you. I mean, don't get me wrong. You've now like paid for all my kids' college and all that, but they keep coming back. And then your job is so much easier because they already trust you. Right.
Yes.
That's the type of business that we want to build.
Yes.
Is that so you positively have 8 years worth of past clients. 8 years.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if they moved away. Every client, I've got clients in Denver, I've got clients in Florida, I live in Idaho.
Yeah.
Every client stays on my mailing list. They all get gifts from me 3 times a year. No fail.
Yeah, that's great.
Because they're all connected to people on Facebook. Right. So then when somebody in their circle says, I need a realtor, then you get the referral because they remember you.
Mhm.
So we're not just looking for their business, we're looking for them to continue to remember you so they can refer you.
Yeah, you're right.
Is that,
Yeah, those are the best ones.
yeah. Oh yeah, it makes your life easy. Oh heavens.
Yeah.
I had multiple houses I didn't even look at when I was, had back surgery that I sold because
Yeah.
people just, they didn't care who showed them, but they wanted my brain to write the contracts and represent them. And I sat on my couch and did just that. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
made money all at the same time. So,
Yeah. That's great,
um,
isn't it?
oh yeah, there's nothing like sitting on your couch for 6 weeks, making $60,000. I can do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I can
not
do that.
bad, is it?
Not a bad day job. Not a bad day
No.
job, which is interesting though. It actually taught me that I can do so much more without running around in circles.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
good lesson for me.
Yeah.
Okay. So what else? Oh, I've kept you for an hour. It's a long time. Is there anything else you want to talk about or be coached on today?
Well, I mean, I don't know. You can go on and on and on forever.
Kind of a lot.
There's many layers to this business.
Yeah, there is many layers. I would take what we talked about today. I will have the replay up in case you need to go through and listen and take notes
Okay.
again too. But I would take what we've gone over and then just start to implement.
Right.
And then you can also grab, I'll have the time management class so that I'll go very
Mhm.
specifically through planning your entire week and your goals.
Mhm.
I'll have that replay up so you
Okay.
can listen to that.
Yeah, I want to hear that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It was about an hour and a half. It's very immersive.
Yeah.
But that's where I would start. And honestly, I mean, you can create what you want.
Mhm.
It's there for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's it, is just really, once real estate was going, I just would get up in the morning, get to my computer, and what I was very reactive. Whatever happened, happened. It was not anything
Yeah.
planned out most of the time. Of course I knew I had to call people, but a lot of it was just what happened that day, who called me, who
Yeah.
needed this, who needed that, who's coming to town.
Yeah. Well, and once you have a plan in place and you go through that, just like this, like
Yeah.
you stop being reactive because you have
Yeah.
time slots available for that activity. You've
Right.
created with the schedule, you've created the boundaries that you've needed in your business
Mhm.
so that you can enjoy your business
That's right. That's right.
instead of hate your business.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, there does have to be a time where you turn it off because people don't work
Yeah.
7 days
yeah.
a week, 24 hours a day. But sometimes
Or
I felt like
Christmas
that.
Eve or Christmas. I've had people call me on Christmas.
That's
And I'm
crazy.
like, heck no, I'm not answering your phone call on Christmas.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
maybe when I was starving and brand new, I would, but I'm not answering it now. It's
Yeah.
Christmas.
That happened to me last Thanksgiving. They're like, any way you can show us the house? I'm like, I'm 2 hours away.
Yeah,
It's
no.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I
It feels
can't.
good
But
to
thanks
say
for
no
asking.
sometimes.
Yeah, it does. And have those boundaries. What's your favorite part of our session today?
Um, that schedule. But yeah, that.
Makes you feel
Yeah.
good? How's that?
Yeah, just because it feels more in control,
Mhm.
not, everything going different directions.
Yeah.
If I get up in the morning, I know this is what I need to do,
Awesome.
rather than, I just need to be better and not being so reactive to somebody calling in the middle of your scheduled day,
Mhm.
and with the distractions, that really becomes a problem.
Yeah. Yes, it definitely can if we react
Yeah.
to it. But it's great now when they call and you can say, oh, I can fit you in this time slot. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Most of the time they'll say that works just great.
Yeah. Give them two choices, right?
Give them two choices. I can do Tuesday or I can do Thursday. Like which one of those days at this time would you like? And
Mm-hmm.
and they can conform around you. And if they don't want to conform, that's okay too.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it's somebody you wouldn't want to work with.
Good possibility.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
yeah, just I guess me having more control rather than everybody else saying, I need this, I need that, I need you to do this, I need you to do that, rather me saying, well, this is when I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
If that doesn't work for you, then I can't help you.
Yeah. And do you believe that you can make, you want what, 60 units a year? 90?
Yeah.
How many units did you want?
I don't know what I said. I don't remember, but I'm about 30 now, 30 to 32, 5, 30. too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 60 to, so like what's your,
I would like to do, yes. Even if I could get to 75, that'd be great.
okay, so 75 units, you want to do 75 units. Do you believe that you can get to 75 units by
Yes.
saying no?
Yes.
Good. Then I've
Every
done my
time.
job. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But every time you say yes to somebody, you're saying no to somebody else. So you have to decide who
Yeah.
you're going to be saying no to.
You can't get there in the state that you've been in,
No.
right?
No.
In the overwhelm and the frustration and the hating your job because you were, burnt out. Like we can't get there. But with the structure
Mm-hmm.
and the follow-up, I mean, yeah, there's parts and pieces, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
why I have Kickstart, because there
Right.
are important parts and pieces, but then with the structure, you can get there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
you
I
just
think
become
so.
more efficient. That's how we increase, is with that
Right.
efficiency.
Rather than running in circles. That's
Rather
why I
than
felt
running
like I
in
was
circles.
doing.
Mhm.
Yeah. Most of the time I wasn't even in the kitchen making dinner. I was
Yeah,
back at the computer again. So
yeah.
it just
You know,
felt like
it's
it took over my life.
yeah. It's interesting that I've had people say, I'll have agents say to me, like local, I'll have agents like, oh my gosh, I'm just so busy. And I'm kind of mean. I'm like that 16-year-old, in high school. So I'll go look up on HomeSnap. You can look up agents and you can see how many units they sell.
Yes.
And I'll be like, you sell 12 houses a year. Like, how are you busy? Right? Or how are you so overwhelmed? It's
Mm,
not time. It's what we're choosing to do with it.
right.
That's it. Because if
That's
I can
why.
sell 120 and I can maybe get overwhelmed by 120, but
Mhm.
you're overwhelmed at 12.
Yeah. It's because you're doing too much busy work and it's not
It's the
generating
efficiency of the
sales.
process.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It is the efficiency of how you're using your time.
And that's how I felt like I could never get past that 30 to 35 because I was just basically running in a circle.
Yeah. And you wouldn't
And how
want
could I
to.
fit more people into that, craziness?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, so you have this desire. That was that competing thought. It's like, you're telling me I have a desire to sell more and I want to retire earlier and I want, more
Mhm.
money in the bank and all that. You want that, but yet the
Right.
pathway that you were using to get there was so painful that you didn't want to get there.
Yes, I know. And once things slowed down a little bit, then I discovered like, oh my goodness, that was such a horrible feeling. And because you're just in the middle of it and you don't really know until you can actually take a step back and notice what has been
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being my guest today.
Oh,
Thanks for
well,
being
thanks,
willing to
Lisa.
share your story.
Well, I'm sure I'm not the only one.
No, this will help many people because this is a frequent conversation.
Yeah, I just want to like it again because I know in the beginning I liked it so much, and I would always say it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like work. And
Yeah.
then once you get too much going on and you're not as efficient as you want to be, then it feels chaotic. And that's not good.
Yeah. You know what's really fun on a side note is when I very first started the builder that I was working for, he's like, you're going to take vacations. And I was like, what are you talking about? We didn't take vacations. Like that wasn't something we did. We didn't have the funds to blow on vacations. And he's like, nope, you're going to start taking vacations like a few times a year. And I was like, whatever. Totally didn't believe him. By the end of the first year, I was like, we are going on vacation. And I started planning, and we legit every 2 to 3 months, we will go on a vacation.
Yeah.
Somewhere to do something. We don't care where. Sometimes it's a Sunday. And I'm like, hey guys, let's get online and let's leave on Friday. Let's just go fly to this place and do this thing. And we'll be gone for 3 days. And then we'll come back and it'll be fun. Because I found out for me, I needed that break.
Yes.
Right? Like I needed the reward to then come back and like have a reset and have that quiet moment in my business. Nobody died while I was gone. I figured it all out. Still sold just as many houses, right?
Right.
But I could take that time to go do the thing I really wanted to do. And you have to make sure that you intermix that. And whether it's something that costs a lot of money or not, I love to go blow money on vacations. That's fun.
Yeah, and plus you kind of just have a different mindset and scenery for those few days. You're just kind of out of your work routine and it's just time to relax. So
Yeah. And
I think it
people can't
makes a
find you.
difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it really does help. But last year we took 2 vacations, but gosh, I'm thinking I might need 4.
Yeah. 4 is great. Yeah. Every 2 I could tell as soon as I get close to 3 months, I'm like, oh, we need a vacation.
Yeah,
Like my
kind of like
attitude needs an
dangling the
adjustment.
carrot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm always like, it's time. It's time.
Yeah. And plus, when you know you're going on vacation, I don't think you work any harder than when you know you're going on vacation because you want to get everything where it needs to be before you go. So
Yeah. It's amazing how efficient we can be with our time when we have 8 hours before we're going to go out of town. And now we think we have to organize the whole house and all the laundry has to be done. Everything has to be complete.
Yeah,
Somehow we get it all
exactly.
accomplished.
I know. That's right.
Right.
If we work like we're going on vacation, then we'd be good.
That's what I say. Work like you're going on vacation. And then
That's
go on
right.
vacation.
That's right. That's right. Time to go on vacation.
Time to go on vacation.
That's
Awesome.
right.
Okay.
Well, thank
Awesome.
you. I appreciate your help.
You're welcome. Thanks, Mindy.
I'll talk to you later. All right. Bye.
Bye.